some dev tools installed.
Okay, I'm going to create a new app. I'll call it polling app.
Project. So all we do is we just type
and I'm going to download the latest version of Trongate, set up the MySQL database and do all of the configuration. That's it done. Now I'm going to create a new module. I'll call this poll, and we're going to have a navigation of managed polls. I'll add a little label on, and we'll have an icon. Now for the icon, this computer is going really slow, by the way, because I broke it earlier on. But I'll have a little checkbox here, and we'll add some properties. So I'm going to have a question.
Clearly we have a small problem there.
That will be a variable character, and I'll also have a closing date and time.
Change the credentials.
Let's just submit that. No need for a URL column here, and I'm happy to order by ID ascending. So that's now generating the module with the table. I'm going to view that.
And interrogates the table and brings the new properties in.
Again, this computer is really slow right now. So let's just create a new poll. So what is your favorite kind of animal?
What comes from the model?
Let's have a closing date and time.
Some data in our database,
maybe something like that.
And we're not going to show you
Perfect.
how to create that.
There we go. Okay, so back over to the Trongate desktop app. I'll create a new module now called poll option,
which will actually show
and for the navigation label, I'll just have manage options.
Nice little header there. Saving the file.
Now for this, I will have an icon, but I'm going to make it a little kind of list icon, something like that. And let's add some properties. So I'm just going to say option. That'll be a variable character, and then I'm going to have an integer with number of votes.
Using the volt syntax,
there we go. This will not have any validation rules, and it will not be on the create form. I'm going to submit. No need for a URL column. I'll order by option ascending, and let's generate that. Okay, and I can now view that new module. Now, before I get going with all of that, I'm going to open up our app. There will be a bit of coding. It's not all just button pushing here, you know. So let me find the thing that I made, and here it's here. Okay, so this is the starting point. Now I'm going to go into the poll options module here. Going to find submit, and when we insert a new record, I'm going to say data number of votes equals 0, just in case there's a strict version of MySQL out there. So to add a, actually, let me cancel that. I'm going to add a module relation, a one-to-many. Parent module's poll, child is poll options, identifier columns question, and there we go. Alright, so now I'm going to create a new option. I'm going to say cat, and I'm going to relate this to what's your favorite kind of animal. And then I'll have another new option called dog, and I'll relate it to that. I don't like the way that that's laid out. I think it's kind of stupid, but nevertheless, that is our back-end system done. So now I'm going to open up the polls controller here. I'm going to go to function, index, and I'm going to say data polls is this model get order by ID is just fine. I'm going to say this view index passing in the data over on the polls module into the views folder. We make up an index file. And I'm going to just use Nitro to quickly, by the way, Nitro is a little app that we use at Speed Coding Academy. It lets us choose a front-end framework that we like. So I'll just go with Milligram because it's really simple, you know. And so using Nitro, I can just generate an informational page like that. And I'm going to say today's polls. Then I'm going to say in PHP for each polls as poll. and we'll echo out one of these H3s here.
Because we want to find whether this has
but of course, inside here, we're going to have the poll loading up the question.
Also, what we're doing right now
Alright,
is
now I'm going to make a variable upstairs here called attributes class. I'm going to say that it's equal to button, and right here I'm going to echo anchor, and we're going to go to polls. Let's go to display, and then we'll pass in the poll ID like that, and I'll just say view poll, and I'll pass in the attributes. Let's close off PHP. I'll get rid of this junk. Save it.
We're going to use a table.
And if we now go
to show the data, of
over
course,
to
you like.
polling app / polls, you'll see that we've now got a nice milligram front end system all ready to rock. So I'm going to take us over to a thing called display. I'm going to say function display. This is taking in a poll ID. So I'm going to say poll is this model get where, and I'm going to get where we have the poll ID. I'm going to say data. Poll ID is poll ID. I'm going to say data question is poll loading up the question. Now I'm going to say data options is this model. I'm going to say get many where the polls ID is the poll ID, and the table that I want to get from is going to be poll options, and with that I'm going to say this view display, and I'll pass in the data. Now this is really stupid at this point because I should be using a template instead of just repeating like this, you know. But what can I tell you? That's just what I'm going to do. So I'll just say display, and I'll chuck in that informational milligram page again. So here comes our question, and then here I'm going to have a table. Now again, using Nitro, I can just do that, and it's pretty straightforward. It looks like the milligram tables are quite simple though, so I don't even think I need Nitro. So I'll just say table, and then I'll say TR is going to contain table heading times 3, and so we'll have option, we'll have number of votes, and then we'll have a thing called action. Alright, so now we do some TDs. There's going to be 3 of these little beauties here. So the idea here is that in PHP I'm going to say for each options as option, and let's just echo out the TR. Let's just, you know what, I might as well just do it like this. Might as well just do that. So I'll say option loading up option.
We're going to set the database.
Okay, and here we're going to have number of votes. There it is right there. And finally, I'll do a little TR. But of course, I'm going to need a button. I almost forgot that. So let's do our little attributes trick again up here. So attributes class equals button, and I'm going to say echo. Let's do a little, you know what, why not space it out? Why not make life easy? Let's just make it look nice, you know. And I'm just going to say echo anchor polls / rock the vote, and I'll just say vote for this, and I'll pass in the attributes. Of course, wouldn't it be nice if we passed in our option ID here? That's exactly what I'm going to do. So option loading up the ID. Okay, we're going to save it, refresh, and there it is. So now when I click vote for this all I have to do is get function prop the vote working. It's going to take in an option ID. I'm going to say option is this model
our order
get
change,
where
and as
option
you can see,
ID, and that's going to be on poll options.
In a higher
then I'm going to say
order of the table,
data
the table changed.
Number
now what
of
we're gonna
votes equals option loading up number of votes plus plus, that's going to increment it. Then I'm going to say this model update. I'm going to pass in the option ID, going to pass in the data, and that is on the poll options table. Then I'm just going to redirect to the previous URL, and there we go. So now I have what's your favorite animal. I'm going to just vote for it.
Handle the addition.
Can you believe it? It never worked.
The add action needs to have
geez, right, okay, that's fine. I'll load up the model and I'll put this thing onto debug mode so that I can see what query happened there. And let's also just do a wee dice statement here. So here we go.
We also need to create.
So it's saying update set number of votes is 0.
A new template to be able to add the data. As you can see here, I'm creating an add option H1, and this is
that's
the
interesting.
So very simple form.
Okay, I think we've got it now anyway.
Either with Volt,
that's fine.
With a new form
so
element.
Here we go then. Here is the app. I'm just going to say I'll put this debug mode off of for the moment. So here it is. What's your favorite kind of animal? Review it. I'm going to vote for dog. Thank you very much. There you go.
Volt provides the templating engine, and we're going to add a new submit button. So we have the text field name and now the submit button to save the data. And refreshing it, you can see we got name. Now going back to the template, we just need to add a back button to allow us to go back if we need to. We're going to name this cancel because we might need to cancel and go back. So now we're clicking back the add option, and of course we need to put some logic for this add option. So we're clicking mouse, of course nothing happens. It's because we haven't done anything in our add action. So now we need to check whether the data has been posted, and for that we're using the request object and isPost. So whenever we have a post from that form, what we do is we create a new polls options object. We're setting the polls ID to what has been passed, and of course we're setting the name to what has been typed. We do this with the request object and the get post, and the parameter that we pass is the actual name of the input box. And now all we have to do is set the number of votes to 0 because this is the first element, and obviously hit save. So what we're also going to do is we're going to copy this little piece of code that actually forwards the page to the previous one, changing a little bit the parameters here. So if we click on vote 2, the mouse becomes 3, 4, 5, and as you can see, it orders itself out. So once we click now on a different poll, what's my favorite planet, I can easily click the add option. Let me type a different planet, Uranus, click on add, and as you can see, it appeared at the bottom. The vote increased by 1, and that is about it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little speed challenge there of Trongate versus the Phalcon framework. I'm not sure if you've heard of Phalcon. I think it's awesome. I have so much respect for Phalcon. I love the syntax. I love the concept. And anyone who knows about Phalcon will tell you that that framework is made for one thing and one thing only: speed. Here's the Phalcon website here, and it says Phalcon's the fastest PHP framework ever built. I'm looking forward to doing some benchmark tests, and I'm actually confident that Trongate will be faster for the benchmarks. But of course, there's a different type of speed, and that is productivity. And right on the Phalcon homepage, they've got the build a polling app from scratch in less than 15 minutes. This is their showcase demonstration of the productivity speed of Phalcon. As you have just observed, Trongate beat Phalcon quite convincingly. But remember two things, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, these kind of apps are always going to be rubbish. There's no security or anything. It lets you vote as many times as you want. It's always going to be a rubbish app, you know. But the second thing to remember is that it's about more than just speed. I think that another thing that you have to take into account is the quality of the application that gets produced. So let's take a quick look at what Phalcon end up producing with their showcase app. If I just fast forward, now the quality unfortunately is a bit duff, forgive me for that, but as you can see, it's an incredibly basic page. There's no styling whatsoever. It's a table, you click on it, and it could not, picture's a bit better now, it could not be a more basic looking page. I don't even know if there's normal HTML in that. So that's what you get. That's what you get, folks. That's their end product. Here's the Trongate end product, which was built considerably quicker. My app uses the Milligram framework. I mean, it's far from perfect for sure, but I have nice styling, I have nice buttons and whatnot. My app has a nice admin panel. If I refresh, actually, you'll see my options here. I can comment on the polls. This poll was cool. This is all secure. My app has a closing date and time pop up. My app has a secure login system for the site administrator, something that I can easily update, by the way, all perfectly securely, and that works as well. My app automatically uses powerful encryption algorithms for the administrator password. My app has a class-leading API explorer, complete with all sorts of secure endpoints, ready to be used by any JavaScript developers who may be interested in interacting with my back-end system. Best of all, my app does not use PSR4 autoloading. This gives my app an incredible advantage over all of the other leading PHP frameworks in terms of page load speed. Phalcon may be the one exception. I haven't done the test. And I think that in the time allocated, the Trongate framework managed to do okay. I do not want anyone to ridicule Phalcon. Phalcon is my favourite PHP framework that's out there right now. I have not yet released Trongate into the wild. If I was not using Trongate, I would be using Phalcon. Phalcon has less characters in some of its syntax. The way that Phalcon interacts with the database is extremely economical. Phalcon is fast. Phalcon is good. I'm a huge Phalcon fan. It's precisely because it's so good that I decided to do this little challenge. But now that you've had a chance to watch how Trongate performs against Phalcon. You've had a chance to see how long it takes to produce the apps, and not only that, but evaluate the different end products. Now it's up to you to decide which framework performed the best in this task. If you think that Trongate performed better than Phalcon, please give this video a thumbs up. If you think that Phalcon won the challenge, then give the video a thumbs down.